Minecraft fans, welcome to Feed the Beast Ultimate Pack. In case you were wondering, this thing still works like mad. And I put this wireless redstone transmitter and 2 wireless redstone receivers up there. And ever since I've done that, the little timers at the top have not gotten jammed up. Just putting the receivers there makes it not jam up. I never have to push the button. They just don't jam up anymore. I don't understand. It's quiet time. Never gets quiet around here. Let's just grab a level 30 book real quick. Got a couple books. Yeah, so feed the beast. Disjunction. Do I need disjunction? Anything? What is disjunction anyway? I think it's like an intermittent. I don't even know. This thing like does a little halt thing every once in a while. Like you saw, it was kind of quiet for a second, but it's normally just like this all day long. It's crazy. A couple ender pearls too. Go back into the base. All right, let's take a look at some of the bee stuff we did. So I got this bee processing thing all set up, and we got our little bee input chest, and there's an Autarctic gate with the energy pulse and a redstone engine. And the first thing we do is we have this apiarist pipe, which puts bees, extra bees that come in here, all the drones, into the gene pools to turn them into liquid DNA, which gets pumped through an ender tank over to the DNA tank, the railcraft tank over there. And then we've got a bunch of combs being processed in the 2 centrifuges. And I had just a couple hoppers, and I would like it gets bursty sometimes, so it'll fill up 3 hoppers, but there'll be times where there's nothing left to do either, so it kind of works out with 2 centrifuges and a bunch of hoppers. And then all the different combs go in, and I have so many that I put them all on each side, and then some come up the top and go into either one. And then what this little job here does is you can put a cobblestone pipe and a stone pipe next to each other, and they don't connect. So when stuff comes out of the centrifuge and it comes up here, the propolis gets fed back in to get processed again. And then things come over here, and then we got some squeezers. So the main squeezer over here squeezes honey. So it takes honey drops and stuff like that. And then there's one over here for oil. So oily propolis goes in one, and then I have some watery propolis that I get sometimes, and they go into another squeezer, and then the liquid just gets void piped. But the oily propolis goes into another ender tank, and that goes over here to our oil processing line. So it comes in through this ender tank, and this liquid duct right here needs a redstone signal. So we just have a redstone signal that's being provided by the or it's not even an Autarctic gate, it's just a regular gate. And then it goes through a bunch of refineries, and the outputs for those is just a bunch of redstone signals. And they go into the ender tank that sends them to the railcraft tank, and then we get fuel. So that's what we're doing. And then we have this whole bee breeding thing that we got going on. So one of the things I can do is I have serums get refilled over here. So they get charged up in the synthesizer, and then the quality gets put back up in the purifier. And I got these little lights set up to where if there's nothing in here, the light won't be on, but if there's stuff inside and the work is finished, the light will go on. So that's kind of cool. Mysterious species. I'll figure out where that goes in a second. So this is a cool little area for where we can do a bunch of bee breeding and stuff. And that way when I'm breeding all my bees up, I can alter their DNA on these things, recharge the vials that I used, and then I can throw the results out of either in the inner chest or in the individual machines over here. So we got our little bee lab, and then we have our isolator, which pulls out traits. So I think we made some Viz bees. Oh, and we have a Viz species. And then you take these other vials that you don't want, and we have this powered furnace, which is uses it uses the MJs, so that way I don't have to have different types of power over here. And the cool thing about the powered furnace is you can select the outputs and the inputs. So I just have the output selected back on the side. So what happens is, like slower flowering and slow, I don't need those. So if I put them in here, they'll get cooked and emptied, and then they'll pop back in here. So you'll see this change 15. I think it already did 16. There we go. And then the other stuff that I want to keep, I can put into the synthesizer and then eventually into the purifier. And then max charges, 16 charges, excellent quality, and we're good to go. So that's our little bee lab. And I have a bunch of power that I fed into this. So we have a power converter down below here, and it just goes into a redstone energy cell. But the redstone energy cell puts out 100 MJ tick max, and that's not enough for all these machines. These genetic machines take a lot of power. So I put another redstone energy cell in. 200 is not enough. So I just skipped the energy cell in between and just went energy converter straight in. So you can see this puts out 100 BC out 51 MJ tick right now because it's not doing a whole lot, but it'll put out a lot more. So I think you probably only need 2 of these if you don't have the redstone energy cells. But I like the redstone energy cell because if I somehow manage to run my base out of power, then I still have power in the machines. And that actually worked really well when I was redesigning everything. So we have some bees that we processed, and I think it was the Viz bees, and I might have a screenshot of that, or a clip of that, so let's take a look at that. But we have our giant node, which you can see is 1028 pure node from all of the silverwood trees, and we need to put this aware princess and the Stark drone in there, and they just have to be near a node. And we got a bunch of uranium in here, and we got some chocolate frames to make it go faster. So this should make us a bee really quick. But I think our bees are done. So yeah, now we got Viz bees. These bad boys are Viz. I think we just need them, and their flower is node. That's cool. We kind of want that. That'd be neat. So I'm going to do what I normally do with my bees once I breed up a pair, and I'll show you what that is. So normally what we do is we take one of the drones and one of the princess and save those. The other 3 get put into the isolator, and we're going to extract whatever traits we want, and then the other 2 get put in here, and then we inject them with fertility drugs. That way, if we don't get what we need out of the first 3 drones, we can breed more drones, and we can also crossbreed these guys. So we'll get whatever they have. Node pollination. There was something I wanted, and that's something I got. And we just swap these out. Then it goes into the purifier. It's pretty much an assembly line. And that's pretty much how we do the bees. So we had these Viz bees that we made in the inoculator, giving them max fertility. And then I was working on some more bees. I believe this is Mysterious and Desolate, which will give us a skulking bee, and that'll help us do some more of the thaumic bees, which in the new mods it's actually called magic bees, not to make it less confusing with Thaumcraft. So we have some thaumic bee stuff here. We worked on these a long time ago, tin, copper, silver, and stuff like that. I got some new ones out of here, diamond and emerald. And there's also diamond and emerald in extra bees somewhere over here. Diamond. And emerald's in here somewhere. But if we look at the beealyzer, these are the diamond and emerald bees from thaumic bees, and they produce these nuggets. So diamond nuggets, emerald nuggets. And the nuggets, you just stick 9 of them in a crafting table. And I believe the other kind, let's see if we can find these guys really quick. Got a lot of bees that I've been working on. So here's the emerald bee. So it produces this emerald comb, and then you have to process the comb, and then it makes dust, and then you got to Greg Tech it in order to get actual emeralds out of it. I think you have to actually implosion compressor. So the thaumic bees, the magic bees, are just easier to do. So that's what we did with that. And then I played with some covers. It's a shame that red power is kind of going away on the newer mods, because red power has all the micro blocks. So micro blocks, you take a regular block and you cut it with a saw, and then you cut it again and you cut it again and you cut it again, and you get panels. And that's what we have covering our little tiny laser array over here. And I've hidden everything, and I pushed the energy converters that come through the floor. I've pushed them back a little bit. So we got down here, we got the energy converter, and we actually have a redstone energy cell stored over here. And again, like the bees, 100 max output on the redstone energy cell. So what we did to get around that, since sometimes we need more than that, is we have a second converter with no redstone energy cell hooked up to it. That way we have some stored power, but we can also output more max power. So that's our laser array, and it does work faster like that. It's pretty cool. And then I also have some covers that I did up here in a couple spots, so you can kind of see this little ridge here. I evened out the ceiling up here, so it's almost all of it's on the same layer now. And so the spots that I couldn't remove the dirt and replace with cobble, because I wanted it all to be one theme. Cobble's not the greatest thing, but I wanted it all to be the same. So the spots were like right over here, there's only one block above, so it's dirt above ground, so I just put a cobble cover, and I kind of did that in a bunch of areas. Like over here, there's some water up there, so the cobble covers covered up the water. So we also worked on some compression and some of the machine stuff. So let's take a look at that down here in the GregTech basement. I set this up. I have a third one of these industrial grinders. So we have one dedicated to netherrack over here, and then we have two for processing normal ores, and then another one for when we process with the mercury cells instead of water. And I had a mercury tank over here, but you can't feed liquid mercury directly into the GregTech machines, so we built this contraption, which is actually kind of compact. And the way this works is when the empty cells come out of here, they get sent straight across into this canning machine, and mercury is pretty much quicksilver. So the quicksilver we collect from the sorting system comes down here and gets stored in this barrel. And then I have this little trick with the autarkic gate where only when the pipe's empty does it send a signal. So as soon as it pushes one into there, the pipe's not empty anymore. So you get this slow churn of one item going slowly, or one or two going slowly around. It doesn't produce a lot of lag, but it passes by this machine with a diamond pipe, which tries to put quicksilver down. So whenever this is not 64, it will fill it back up again. And we did the same thing with the empty cans over here, where we have only when the pipe is empty does it send a signal. So the empty cans aren't constantly spitting out, because there's no way to detect like when you're low on empty cans. It's either empty or nothing, but some things need like 4 cans. So if there's only 3 in there, it'll never detect that it's empty and try to fill it back up. So this is how we do it. And then we worked on some of the processing stuff upstairs too. So I redid a bunch of the processing. So again, last episode we covered these. These are the red power sorting machines, and what they do is they wait until the inner chest has like 4 basalt or 9 zirconium, and then they pump them out through the pneumatic tubes into the packagers, and then the 4 will be a 2x2, the 9 will be a 3x3, and it compresses it, and then it sends it back off to storage. And I reworked this. So before I had a bunch of solar panels all over the base, but I borrowed a little trick from people who use the Red Power has frames, and you can make like a movable machine. And one of the tricks that people do with their movable machines is they set up the batteries with an ender chest. And I kind of did the same thing here. So what happens is when this ender chest has an empty battery in it, it gets sucked out with this filter, and it gets put into a battery box and gets charged, and then when they're full, the retriever sucks them back into the ender chest. So this is always full of full batteries, and when it's not, they get recharged from this solar array, and that allows me to make a more compact design everywhere else that I use the Bluetricity. Like this little job here, which pulls the full batteries out, from the filter, puts them into this bat box, fills it up. When these get empty, they get put back into the inner chest, sent back over there and refilled. That way I don't need solar panels and a bunch of blue alloy wire over here. And the same thing with the blue electric. blue electric alloy furnace. It's set up on the same little system. And I played with some of the panels. You can make these like hollow panels, I guess. And that kind of covers up the pipe underground, but it only works with the pneumatic tubes. But that's kind of cool because then we've kind of hidden most of this stuff underground, underneath panels. But this does the same function for this furnace, so I don't need solar panels over here either. We just use the ender chest. And then one of the things that I also did is I worked on, since I moved a bunch of processing down to the Greg Tech, I still have more stuff to replace over here. I changed this around a little bit and redesigned this. So this is our processing, what's left of the MJ and EU processing. And I moved the wood thing here, so the wood gets processed on these furnaces. It's just a little bit more compact. And then the rubber wood, and then I have some cans that I don't need, so those all go over to an extractor that will empty the cans or process the rubber and send it back to the assembly line. And then I have a couple of compressors, and this compressor is set up with another one of these sorting machines, because some things you can only compress when there's so many of them. So when I get 9 lapis, it spits them in there. That way I don't need a bunch of hoppers to keep track of everything, and if I have like 8 lapis in here, it'll hold up all the quartz dust processing or glowstone dust processing. So everything just goes into this chest, and then when the right amount is in the chest, the sorting machine puts them in the compressor and it starts working. And then I have another compressor for just stuff that you only need one item to compress, which includes thorium dust. And I had a little explosion over here and blew this up because these machines use low power, so we have a low voltage converter, LV. And then this is medium voltage coming out of the floor, and I also run medium voltage up to the Mine Factory Reloaded. And I had this pipe right here, or this glass fiber cable connected to these, and I blew up this thing 3 times. So I still got some pipes missing, and I'll have to go back and replace those. But this is a processing. Basically what it does is a bunch of stuff. These all go into the compressor, and then some things get put into a pulverizer. And then I have another pulverizer and another one of these electric powered furnaces, and this is just for cobblestone processing, cobblestone and then smooth stone and sandstone. And the smooth stone and the sandstone get sent back to these crafting tables. So we still have a couple of these crafting tables because these recipes, well, not that one, but this one, like produce slabs, is not a 2x2 or a 3x3, so we need an auto crafting table instead of one of the packagers over there. So that's what we have all this stuff doing. And what these do is these two get filled up with cobble, and then if we get more cobble, there's a void pipe down there. It void pipes the rest of the cobble. And then the stone gets put into these machines when it comes out, and either makes bricks or slabs over there, and then sandstone goes in here and either makes slabs or bricks, or smooth sandstone or chiseled sandstone. And then gets sent back into the processing over there. And then down at the end here we have some recyclers just for some other stuff. If we fill up if I get an extra dimensional barrel full of stuff, I don't need any more, so it just goes into the recycler. And then I have some other stuff I can put in the recycler, and I actually need to extend this a little bit because I'm trying to get this Grade Tech Industrial Electrolyzer fit in here, and this is where I was playing with the medium voltage and blew stuff up. But we can look at that a little bit. And then I have the sand going in here for induction smelter. There's only a couple things, I think. Aluminum, iron, and gold go in here. And the aluminum and iron go into the induction smelter, and they try to produce rich slag, and then it gets sent over here, and then the rich slag gets used to give me extra copper. And then the sand either fills up the induction smelter, or gets turned into sandstone, or gets cooked into glass back here with another one of these powered furnaces, since these are all MJ processing power over that. And then we have the Mine Factory Reloaded that we worked on too. So here's our Mine Factory Reloaded tree farm stuff. And I expanded this a little bit, so the harvester and the planter both have these lapis upgrades, which increases the radius by 1. So instead of being 3 by 3, it's 1 on each side, so it's actually 5 by 5. So there's a 5 by 5 grid for regular trees, a 5 by 5 grid for rubber trees, and I actually disconnected the power on the planter on this thing because I'm starting to fill up my rubber tree barrels. And then we have a little bit bigger one. This is an iron upgrade, which is 2 radius increase. So instead of 5, it's 7, and that's for wheat. And then this is another 5 by 5 for producing string with these. And then we got some, since my Thaumcraft little dudes fell through the world, we just put the sugarcane and the cactus back over here on Zirconium soil on the end of this thing, so those are within range of the harvester. And then we're good to go. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff done. I think we're going to go on a road trip. We're going to do some upgrades first. So I processed some glowstone. I got this helium cell. We're going to make a 60k coolant helium cell and turn it into some overclockers. There we go. I got another overclocker over here, and let's grab all of this stuff. So if I have this right, a couple of those, 3 of these, and my diamond drill makes an advanced diamond drill. There we go. And the other thing that I wanted to do I have everything? It's recharging. I want to make some of this nanosuit body armor. We're going to actually make 2 of these. And the reason why I want the nanosuit body armor is we're going to use it with our jetpack, our advanced jetpack. Actually, both of them. And I think we can make this. Let's see if I have this right. And we need one of these and a couple of those, and a jetpack and some of these. There we go. So this is advanced nano chest plate, and what this does is it gives us all the power of the advanced electric jetpack and all the power of the nanosuit body armor. Can I throw all this stuff up here? 1, 2. There we go. So we're going to store one of those and wear the other one. And then I made a ender pouch. Let's go ahead and we just want to give this a name. So this is going to be our bee bag. What we'll do is oh, hello. We'll figure out how this jetpack works. Jetpack engine on. There we go. So we're going to take this thing and we're going to tie it to. There we go. And now that's everything that's in that chest. So I tore down one of the alveoles that we got set up. We got this bee bag tied in, and we're going to do a little road trip. So everything is in this chest, which is also going to be in this bag. And then we're going to head out here to the outside world. And I believe on my map I have there's a Hollow Hills I found and a desert temple that I flagged, and I think the desert temple's closer. So let's go find that. Change of plans, people. We are making a flux bee. We need a vis bee and an Edenic bee, and we need an unstable node. This is an unstable node. You can tell because it's got the little swirly thing on it. It looks like we are done getting experience because these are modified super bees. And we have flux bees. Okay, here's the skinny. So this unstable node is, there was a wisp spawner here, and a long time ago I found this and dug underneath and destroyed the wisp spawner but this unstable node was near the wisp spawner. And over here is where the desert temple was that I had flagged on my map. And the desert temple had a node in it. Or, well, the desert temples I've seen before have nodes in them. This one didn't have a node in the actual desert temple. But over here it had a node. And I thought this was what I was looking for. This is a dark node. We don't want a dark node. And what we're going to do is leave that covered up so that wisps don't spawn out of it. Dark nodes are really bad, but they're not unstable nodes. And this is the desert temple. One of the desert temples I explored had a dark node right in the middle of it, like right there. This one doesn't, but we got our node, we got our bee. Let's take a look at this thing. And this is the easy way to do it with the jetpack, and then you just dig that, and you dig that, and no TNT exploding. Just TNT for the taking, which I'm going to use because I need lots of TNT. And chests. Zombie flesh, gold, meh. Copper, steel chestplate, meh. Tin, amber, meh. And diamonds, sweet. More steel. And we got that biome. Alright, let's head back to base. We covered a whole bunch of stuff this episode. We did a bunch of changes to the base. We bred some bees. We upgraded some armor and stuff. One of the things I've been working on, so we used the silverwood saplings, silverwood trees to make a giant pier node downstairs. And what we're going to do with the silverwood trees is we're going to grow some next to these two nodes over here and eventually to this one over here. And what you do is you grow one far enough away, and once it's bigger than the node that you're targeting, we're going to try to make them merge. And if the pier node is bigger than that node, when they merge it'll be a pier node, hopefully. And the same thing over here. There's a silverwood sapling next to that dirt over there. But we'll work on that in a little bit. So we're going to wrap this up. I just want to let everybody know, yes, we're on Ultimate Pack, which is 147, and there's some packs out for 151, which I've been looking at. And also been trying to see if there's any news on packs that will come out for 1.6 and maybe even 1.7 when it comes out. So we might at some point do a map reset and work on one of the new packs. That'll be kind of interesting. In the meantime, there's a few things left to do to explore in this world, and maybe figure out some more stuff along the way. Probably do some more upgrades just to see how they work and how hard they are to make. And as we look forward, we'll do a little bit more of this, and we'll look at some of the new stuff going on. In the meantime, I will catch you guys later.